are some lies in our science books. Taught it for 15 years. Even though I'm not teaching it anymore, I still like to study. It's so many neat things to learn. We're going to cover some of that tonight.
Perception is being managed. We are being steered and guided by a hidden hand.
The whole world has been duped by the media that is not real.
Smart thinking, possible time traveler, smart thinking.
That night, boom, contact memory.
And then, Alex, if you don't agree, you'll be sent to a re-education camp.
Just because I'm old doesn't mean I've lost my touch with the ladies.
A lot of people here tonight felt like they lost. You know why?
Now, experts are suggesting that we're in a golden age of shape-shifting reptilian sightings. Now, why is that?
I was, and still am, a huge conspiracy guy. I literally ran out of new tin hat topics to research.
It was most definitely not capable of melting steel.
Then I would be a crackpot if I thought that was the case.
Thought that was the case.
Welcome to the Hypothetical Institute, a podcast about conspiracies.
My name is Luke.
I'm Salt.
I'm Cam. Salty, it's good to have you back.
Hey, thanks, mate.
Luke, good to have you back.
Yeah,
Luke,
Luke,
be here.
Luke, it's good to talk to you as well.
Thanks, Cam. Love to say the same. What are we talking about?
This week we have a suggestion from a listener. The world is ending.
That sounds like an awful suggestion.
On September 24. This was suggested prior to September 24.
Okay.
But I thought, you don't want to look like a fucking idiot, do you? If we're all like, nothing's going to happen.
And then we're all dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time to gloat is after September 24. For sure. The world obviously didn't end on, 2022. How do we know it's not going to end another September 24?
Well, so this had its origins in a few different things, all of which are equally stupid. So the first thing that was going around, I think this is where it started, was there was a video of a German politician. I think it's the leader of the Christian Democrats. He was in Parliament in the Bundestag, and he was like, September 24, we'll all remember where we were on this historic day. And this had come out, like this was just fresh. This video had come out. He's like, everyone will remember where they were on September 24. You're going to remember this day for the rest of your life. And that's all of the context in the video. I even saw it with even less context. I saw this video with like no subtitles in German, which I believe is how it's pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
And just commentary like over the top, like what the fuck's going to happen on September 24? It's like, it doesn't even tell you what he's saying. Like the only sort of thing you can understand if you don't speak Deutsch is September 24.
Yeah, I watched this stream, which I think we'll talk about later, but this guy kept on playing it and going, I caught him when he said September 24th, and someone in one of my watches has confirmed that he said that as well. She heard it too. Instead of like looking for anyone German or anything, this is their confirmation of like, oh yeah, it kind of sounds like September 24th, which it did because it does, but not getting not attempting to find any other context. Just like, oh, that's the date that he's saying.
So I guess people then were like, now that we know something's going to happen on September 24, something that we're going to remember for the rest of our lives, we're going to remember where we were, we better go, rather than going to look for like what was the speech he was even giving about, let's go find, just some other random shit that suggests something might happen on September 24. And so the couple of big ones were Detroit, the Motor City. They were having a bug out bag giveaway day on September 24.
Right.
So they were giving out bug out bags. Now, I did check. At no point did as part of the National Preparedness Month events, did the Department of Emergency Management in Detroit, Michigan, ever say we're giving out bug out bags.
Right.
They said, come on down to the town hall or wherever it is. we're giving away preparedness kits that have like some band-aids and wet wipes and things in them. Just so if there's like a natural disaster or whatever, you're ready.
Bug out.
Yeah. But so all of these, yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
bug
the
out
difference is
goes down.
the difference between a bug out and a preparedness kit. They're not too dissimilar. It's just one probably has a lot more ammunition in it.
Yeah.
Well, so the thing is, like, I did see a bunch of reporting on this. I think that maybe, like, the media, I don't think the media had been calling it a bug out bag before it got drawn into the conspiracy. But I did see some, like, reporting on the local Fox station where they're like, yes, they are giving out bug out bags, but it's not part of a conspiracy. It's like, you could help by just saying, yes, they are giving out preparedness kit. They're not saying when the shit hits the fan, you'll need the bug out bag. They're saying if there's, like, a power outage, it could be good to have some.
Here's a flashlight. Or a candle.
and some batteries. And, get a couple of cans of tomatoes.
Yeah.
When you're at the shops. Also, we've just been through a massive global event where we all learnt that maybe you should have a couple extra cans of tomatoes when you go to the shops.
Yeah.
So
there's not a map sewn into the lining that you made your friend make after he hid your getaway car like 5 miles away and then didn't show you the map so no one could interrogate it out of you, so that when you have to actually leave, you've got a map to follow to get a car to get away to Mexico.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of canned food and some candles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was like going around.
I watched a lot of that show, Preppers.
Yeah.
I figured that was something.
That seems to be the kind of shit they do.
Well, this went around the prepper community, and it also went around like the prophecy community, like on YouTube. Lots of people divining future events from things like preparedness kits. I did see one prepper though. He was like, "This is such a shitty bug out bag. Like, none of this stuff will help you. Plus, you've got like an orange backpack or something. You might as well be painting a target on your back."
All right.
But
because the rest of us have a lot of ammunition in ours.
Yeah. But he was very critical of the rest of the prepper community because he's like, why would if the point is that something's going to go down on September 24, why would the government give you any tools to help you?
Yeah.
Like the whole point of it being a diabolical government bringing about some sort of catastrophe is that you want people to be desperate for help, not to be able to look after themselves. And to that I would add, if you were a government that was planning to do something dreadful on a day, you should give out the bug out bags before the day.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's the free bicycle thing. You get everyone tricked into thinking they're getting a sweet bug out bag in preparedness. And that's when you know you're going to get the least prepared people, so you can get them all at once.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy, not impressed, and not impressed with the contents of the bug out bag.
Yeah.
So the other thing that sort of got dragged into this was season 24, episode 9 of The Simpsons.
Right.
Deals with an EMP, I believe, going off in Springfield.
Oh.
And Homer and a bunch of prepper types. I think this is the big prepper episode of The Simpsons. They all go down into a bunker to see out the apocalypse. Meanwhile, the power goes out for a few days and everyone's fine.
Right.
And I think the sort of a subtle message of the episode is by taking all of the insane people out of the equation because they all went down into the bunker. Actually, everyone just got along okay.
That's pretty good.
But season 24, episode 9, 24/9, September 24. They were rubbing it in our faces.
They always do.
When did season 24 of The Simpsons come out?
2013.
Yeah, so this was a while ago.
Wait, does that mean they're up to season 33 now?
Something like that, yeah.
Now, I don't want to...
a little bit Masonic.
Oh, shit.
We're in season 34.
Oh, thank God.
Now, boys, I don't like to drop a name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a name dropper.
All right, so we'll move on.
Not my experience at all, but go on.
I happen to be, I will say friends. It's like an online friend thing. But on pretty easy talking terms with someone who works on The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
Should I ask him about all this hidden Simpsons shit?
He's not going to tell you.
He might.
How long has he worked on The Simpsons for?
I think the first episode he did was the one where Barney has to rescue everyone from the volcano with a helicopter.
Oh, that'd be chock a block with symbolism. But
remember that one?
If that's your first one, like, are they going to bring you into the real writers' room to explain what the secret message is on that one, or do they do they sound you out? It's like when a cop's like, "What do you reckon about taking bribes on your first day?"
Let me see what episode that was.
Just a note, season 33 was last year. Season 34, guess when it started?
This year?
September 25.
Oh.
Day after the world was supposed to end. The end, so maybe the ending was the end of that Masonic year of Simpsons episodes. And then the new, we're not in the Masonic era anymore because it's now September 25.
Could be.
Think about it.
So this episode was April 9th, 2000. So 22 years ago. Jesus Christ, that's awful to think about, isn't it?
And they're still working on The Simpsons.
Yep, they're one of the animators.
Oh yeah. Oh, so he can sneak in. Sneak a little bit of symbolism, man.
Yeah, he might be sneaking stuff in.
Yeah,
he's the exact person that would be behind all this shit, sneaking stuff in.
I've got a Reddit comment about the Simpsons episode because this Reddit comment says they show the EMP wave. There's a lot of blue and yellow, like the Ukrainian flag.
Wow.
Which is quite funny watching The Simpsons and going, man, lots of blue and yellow in this episode.
Yes. Oh, the Ukrainian symbolism is just all through it.
There's implications of an asteroid and zombie apocalypse before the credits. And this is a quote from them. I had a random idea to put 24 and 9 into an online calculator and added them together. The result was 33. Is that a coincidence? They go on a bit, but everyone, this is on Our Conspiracy, and everyone's just rinsing them having to use a calculator. Imagine getting rinsed in Our Conspiracy for saying something too stupid.
Yeah, you've definitely fucked up at that point.
Sorry, Cam, what you were going to say?
So, this did numbers on TikTok, which is, I guess, how it's come to us. There's so many stupid TikToks about this. And yeah, I've decided I'm not a big TikTok guy.
No.
What made you decide that?
Maybe it was when I swore off TikTok several years ago. But no, TikTok's like, some of these were just like very low energy, but still doing very big numbers. So there'd be like spooky music and like it'd just be text being like, someone says that September 24th is the day when, the world's going to end. What do you think? And it's like 1 million views.
Because TikTok's whole thing is it's super addictive. And, my experience of using it is you see a video on it and then it just immediately shows you a new video. So I imagine people are just soaking it in, probably 8 hours a day. Probably more for some. So like things gets 1 million views, but does that have any impact? Like at what point is it just white noise in a wall of noise?
I did one thing I've noticed. I think it's like really obvious when someone is stretching a video out to be a certain length. I think that must be something that's algorithmically beneficial.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be like a specific length. So yeah. Lots of padding going on TikTok.
I watched a news report from Fox 5, one of the Fox affiliates in the US, and they were talking about, the world's going to end on September 24. These kooky people. Is it the end of the world? Is it the Great Awakening? Which I thought is so interesting. There's just like a casual QAnon thing slid into the news now. But the one video that did get huge on TikTok was the Daily Rundown with Chris, who's an English guy who reports on the news every day. And so he reported on it and it blew up. And then when the world didn't end, people were annoyed at him. And then he had to do like a video of like, when I do these things, I'm just reporting the news and I verify my sources. I said, well, you didn't verify your sources at all. Because there are no sources for this, really. But his doing the news just seems to be reading a news report that he finds that day or multiple times. He also lined up to see the Queen and then had to do an explanation video of why he lined up to see the Queen. So he's fallen into a bit of strife, old Chris, with his viewers.
I did, in my journeys through the TikTok algorithm, I did come across a guy called Theo the Other, who was like a massive QAnon guy, or he's massively into QAnon. I don't know if he's that big, but I guess just to situate him, you'd be familiar with Limmy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Brian Limond. You know, like Limmy does that face, that Limmy face.
The one that's a meme where he's like waking up.
Yeah. You know that face he does, but he's doing, you know, when he does that face, he's doing a bit.
Yeah.
This guy looks like that.
Right.
What's his name?
Theo the Other. And he just has this sort of unironic Limmy face. But he did like a video about this. He's like, oh, you know, it's going to be like a solar flare or whatever on the September 24th, blah, blah, blah. But then he's like doing all these other videos like, oh, you know, make sure you've got your crypto, you've got your Ripple in a private wallet because they'll shut down the exchanges on September 24th. It's like, I'm seeing differing stakes here.
Right. I can't find a picture of this guy, Cam.
Like, is my Ripple going to lose value, or is is all electronics going to go out?
Yeah, I see a photo of him. Theo the Other. Hang on, Theo the Other. Yeah, I saw someone else concerned. This is in a YouTube comment. This is Hail Mary Recordings. Their comment was, "My fiance's birthday is the 24th, and we have dinner plans." I've had a bad feeling something brutal was coming when the COVID narrative collapsed, and they won't allow us to hold them accountable.
Have you got a picture bigger than like 10 by 10 pixels, Ken?
Oh my God. So needy. The other thing about Theo the Other is after September 24, yeah. Oh, okay. So all of his videos are like 9 to 200 views, except for one about September 24 that did 30,000 views. And it was a clip out of American Gods.
Right.
And I did watch this. I think that they say something like, oh, yeah, it's going to be a crazy September or something in it. And that's like proof that something's going to happen on September 24. But he did a video after September 24 when nothing happened. He's like, I'm at the beach, just waiting for the apocalypse, guys. Ha ha ha, lol. This was just to get your attention so you could pay attention to what's really going on. It's like, I don't know if this is the crowd for that.
The QAnon people obviously pick this one up. They pick everything up, don't they, in some way? I think I came across an AI article about this. Do you want to hear the intro to the AI article about this?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Forecast prophecies and conspiracy theories have become big news in business on social media these days. And apart from ancient prophet Nostradamus' predictions, some reports proclaim as many as 1 in 5 Americans believe in a ton of conspiracy theories and predictions. And the last big one was the world was going to end in 2012. Do you remember? In fact, a lot of us were waiting with bated breaths and fluttering fears. I like the turn of phrase "fluttering fears." I think AI has done pretty well with that, but the rest of it is pretty much junk.
Yeah, I think perhaps the Autothosaurus is getting too much credit as an AI there.
Maybe. I also came across some numbers on this.
Oh yeah,
here's some numbers on this.
Mm.
This is a pretty common one that's popped up in a few places. So 24 equals 6.
Mm-hmm.
9 equals 6.
Yep, upside down.
Yep, there you go, got it. In 2022, that equals 6.
Yep, how? 20. Yep, 2. Yep, 3 2s.
2.
That's 6,
2 plus 0 plus 2, 2 plus 2.
Yep.
666.
Don't have to add the 0. That's fine. 666. That's 6 6s. That's 3 6s.
Yep. This tarot lady that I watched. Oh no, sorry, it's not the tarot lady. Some other lady I watched said that 23 was important because of Titanic, Pearl Harbor, and September 11, which adds up to 23.
Yep, that's great. But 23 is not the number. 24 is the number.
Yeah. I don't know why she was talking a lot about 23. I think maybe because 23 was the last day. But also, I don't know how September 11 adds up to 23.
9 plus 1 plus 1 is 11.
You've taken the longest path to get to where you started.
plus 2001. So what do we got? 11 plus 2.
We need the lady from 9 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown.
Yeah.
And probably the other show she was on before that.
I can only get up to 14.
I looked up why Titanic and Pearl Harbor might be significant for 23. The top speed of the Titanic was 23 knots.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Olympic. And apparently, maybe it was a documentary or something where they read Psalm 23 when they were showed, or maybe it was in the movie, they were reading Psalm 23, which is just when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Ooh. R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace, Coolio. Also in Pearl Harbor, 23 sets of brothers died, which is actually quite a lot of brothers.
Yeah.
How many people died in Pearl Harbor?
More than 23.
Harbor. Yeah, I know that because 23 sets of brothers died. I just said that.
More than 23. Yeah, well, more than 23. And 23 is irrelevant because it's September 24. It's like
2,403.
What about
There's 2403. Anyway, go.
What about all the predictive programming for September 22nd? You know, the day 2 days before the end of the world. Like, where are we going to put the cutoff, guys? This is ridiculous.
Another one that got a bit of traction was 24 is actually 9/11. September 24. Sorry, it's 9/11. Because
didn't you just say that before? And we could only get up to 14?
No.
This is a new thing.
9/11 adds to 24. This is September 11. It's September 24 is actually September 11th.
Right.
Because the Julian calendar is 13 days behind the Gregorian calendar. So we use the Gregorian calendar. So we're not September 24th. In the Julian calendar, it was actually 9/11.
Oh, that all makes perfect sense. Now, speaking of September 23, I did see...
You rinsed me for even fucking daring mention.
I did.
Go on.
I did, but you know what, Robbo? It was just a little Joshy rinse because I watched... I didn't watch the whole thing, but God's Road to the End, 38 minutes of September 23rd is the end of the world video, which they just brought out. So clearly in response to everyone saying September 24 is the end of the world. But I think they put a lot of effort into coming up with their 38 minutes of references to September 23rd in movies and things. And so they're like, I'm not going to get the fact that everyone's saying it's a different day get in the way of anything. Lots of real bad references. So that they were taking a lot of disaster movies and there'd be like a clock that said it was 9:32 and they're like, see, 23, 9, I guess backwards. But then there'd be like just those numbers in any order and they'd be like, see? Like, no, I don't think so.
Wait, hang on, 23. Say that again?
Are we talking about 24th?
Yes, we are.
Why are you telling me about 23, Cam?
This take it up with God's Road to the End. I did think you'd enjoy that. There was one news report which was from the RIMPAC naval exercises, and it was on the news
already.
It was on the news at 9:32 in the morning. Bum bum bum.
Oh,
but they also had like a clip from the movie Battleship with Rihanna based on the board game, in which Rihanna is like they're on a submarine, I think. Or maybe, perhaps on a battleship.
I think I've seen it. I think I enjoyed it.
You would remember the scene then where the new submarine captain is throwing his weight around. And Rihanna says to the person next to her, oh, this guy's like a mutant combo of Donald Trump and Mike Tyson. And this is like years before Donald Trump's political ambitions. And they cut the clip there because I think that proved their point that there was predictive programming. But I did look up the...
Hang on. Do we need to be afraid of a mutant combo?
Of Donald Trump and Mike Tyson?
Jesus.
I think the peak has passed for that mutant combo.
Yeah, Tyson's not got it in him anymore.
If that was to happen now, I'd be like, it's probably not going to impact us. But I've been saying that about Donald Trump for a while and he's really proved me wrong. So yeah, what do I know?
The Trump side of that mutant would be like trying to grasp power and trying to be like Donald Trump. And then the Tyson one would just be like smoking weed all day.
Looking after its doves.
Not getting anything done.
Yeah.
And the Trump side's going to be like, come on, Mike. And he's going to be like, no, I don't have him anymore.
So Battleship with Rihanna came out in like 2012.
Mm-hmm.
What would that reference have even meant in 2012? Oh, I guess Donald Trump was on The Apprentice, right?
I mean, he's been an
He's
incredibly
a guy.
famous person for like 30 or 40 years at this point.
Yeah, but there's a point where where a reference makes sense, and there's a point where it doesn't. It's like if he's like a combo of the guy from Home Alone and Mike Tyson doesn't make sense. But if he was on The Apprentice and we have that context for him, that does make sense.
I think he was doing his racism shtick. Sorry, to be more specific, the birther stuff.
Birtherism, yeah.
Yeah. Which would have been, because when was that would have been about when the second round of
yeah. Anyway, I did look up the scene to get a little bit more context, and the captain of the submarine is like, "What did you say? I thought I heard you say something about Donald Trump." And did I hear the words Mike Tyson? And she's like, "Yeah, because you're like strong like Mike Tyson." He's like, "Well, that's fine then." It's like, what the fuck's going on in the Battleship movie? I'm concerned that the Battleship movie went off the rails at some point. But the other thing in God's Road to the End is he had so many clips from the movie The Number 23 with Jim Carrey. And it's like, what are the... Firstly, that's a movie about a guy who's like becomes obsessed with seeing the number 23 everywhere. So it is going to feature the number 23 quite heavily. And I'm sure it will have like lots of scenes where, oh, wow, it's the number 23. That's quite significant. But you can't use it in your video where you're the guy from the movie The Number 23. And I think it's really gauche to have the scene where the guy in in the movie The Number 23 is like, wait, that's backwards, that's the number 23. It's like, yeah, that's the same dumb shit this guy's doing.
I've never heard of this movie. Is it good?
I think it is considered widely to be bad.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it.
Got an approval rating of 7% on Rotten Tomatoes.
There we go.
Oh, that's bad.
I think it's like early Jim Carrey dramatic role.
Yeah, so this is the second film to appear Schumacher and Jim Carrey. It was directed by Joel Schumacher. The first being Batman Forever, which is also famously bad, right?
Well,
that's the third. That's the George Clooney one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not famously great, but it's a Joel Schumacher Batman movie with Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Like it's good for what it is.
Yeah, I think I could probably rewatch it and kind of get some enjoyment out of it, but maybe like in 10 years' time. Right now, it's a bit raw. Did this guy also show like entire games of Michael Jordan's career and be like, look at 23 just coming up
everywhere?
He's involved in every play. Why aren't people talking about this?
It seems to be levitating as well.
I watched a lady that was doing tarot reading on this whole issue.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it was, I don't like to put specific dates on things because tarot, because like you don't want to be too specific because you're wrong.
Especially when it's like in a week because you look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. But then she also said tarot cards don't override God, which I don't know. Christianity and tarot cards really clash, don't they? There's not really any.
Don't know if they're best mates, but yeah.
No. But she did say she didn't come up with the date so she can do the reading. Because she's doing the reading to prove people wrong. The date isn't one that she's given out. I didn't stay around for the whole reading because it was pretty boring. But I skipped to the end, and the conclusion was that the tarot cards did say there are nefarious plans for September 24. But there are good plans in place to counteract them.
Oh, so it'll just even out.
Yeah, so the good guys are behind the scenes. I think she said some deep state stuff in there, but the deep state. So it's just going to someone is behind it all that's going to help us save the day.
I reckon you could formulate a theology where tarot and Christianity went together. Okay, everything is part of God's plan. So whatever cards I'm putting down, they're part of God's plan. But at the same time, I think that you would, if you're like that into Christianity, to not be like, well, I'm inviting Satan and demonic forces into my life by messing with the occult. I think you would be walking a very thin tightrope to be balancing those two things.
Yeah.
But she's managed to do it. I say good on her.
Yeah, she had, can't remember the exact number of views, but this was on BitChute, and it was in the thousands. So she's got an audience for it.
So should we mention what the German guy's actual thing was?
Sure.
Well, as was explained when somebody asked him about it. Oh, sorry, I meant to say February 24. And
yeah,
it was from like February 28. So he was talking about something that had happened a few days earlier. And he was also, this was a sort of annoying thing. I saw people being like, he was actually talking about February 24. And so then people were like, oh, so what's going to happen on February 24? It's like, no, he was talking about February 24 from a few days earlier. It wasn't from just now. And like if you even take 10 seconds from either side of the clip that everyone was showing, he's talking about the invasion of Ukraine, which happened on February 24, which would be a day that we're all going to remember.
I watched another live stream of a guy who, this was the guy that I mentioned earlier that he didn't look for context like any normal person would. He just heard the date September 24 and just assumed that it was relevant to his life. He was videoing his monitor to stream from. So he must have been streaming from his phone as he videoed his monitor. And the first thing I put on his monitor was MSN homepage. He Googled that. You can see the words MSN homepage in the browser window. But his sort of theory was the German guy has said the words that he said, everyone's going to remember where they were on September 24. And you know what else that we remembered exactly where we were? 9/11.
Yeah.
And he can remember exactly where he was 9/11 because he was at work and he was in the break room at work looking at the TVs because they had TVs in there.
Where was this guy from?
America.
Well, a bit of an early break, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, if something happened, you can early knock off. You get a half day for 9/11, Cam.
But he's in the break room when 9/11 happens?
I mean, he didn't say he saw the plane hitting the tower.
When the plane hits the tower?
Gather around, everyone. Something's happened. Oh, I've got to finish my fucking spreadsheet.
Just having a little 9 a.m. break. Real good start of the day. Oh, fuck. There's been a few podcasts now that I've been on, this one and Gather Around Me, where I really take the boss's side on things, and we need to put a stop to that.
No, that tracks with you, Cam. This guy also, he goes on to talk about Mercury is in retrograde, and Mercury takes 88 days to travel around the sun. And then his computer just fucking fries. He's got like 3 tabs open, and you just see the entire screen just like seize up, and all the text just go full glitchy. And he goes, "Oh, I've got another computer somewhere, and I got a newer one, not a new one, but a newer one. But I've got everything downloaded on this one, so I need to use this one." So what's downloaded here? 3 tabs. He flails at this for a good 5 minutes. This is in one chunk of flailing. This is not including the probably 15 other minutes he's flailed for his whole stream. He's got 20,000 viewers.
Far out.
And I've said this before, and it's kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, let's peel off a few of those, please.
How do you get 20,000 viewers with just this garbage content filming your screen with your phone, and your screen is frying and you're flailing? And the quality of what you're saying is that because he remembered where 9/11 happened, where he was, someone else said something going to bring, like, what? He also showed some footage of William Shatner.
Oh.
So William Shatner has been quoted the last couple of weeks about saying when he was in the rocket with the Jeffrey Bezos that he could see how fragile Earth was, and the coming catastrophes that are happening to Earth. How it brings it all into perspective.
Mm-hmm. Classic being in space observation.
Yep, and
thanks for that, William Shatner. You've really brought something to the table of people seeing the planet as a tiny blue marble. That's great stuff.
Jesus, it was quite poignant the way he's. You've just gone Shatner.
Just hot takes.
just beloved William Shatner. You just right, okay. You're gonna get cancelled over that, Cam.
I think you might get cancelled for your love of William Shatner.
Shatner's clearly talking about climate change, and this video just cuts it off before any elaboration on what he's actually talking about. Clearly, climate change. And he's like, "See, William Shatner's talking about a catastrophic event coming too. Could he be referring to this?" Clearly, he wasn't. Did you guys see the video when Shatner and Bezos came down from space?
Tell us more about this Bezos.
And Shatner's like, they're standing there and everyone's filming. Everyone's like, "Whoa, you've just come down from space." And Shatner turns around to say something to Jeffrey Bezos. Really, like, you could see he's about to have a poignant moment, and Bezos just cuts him right off, gets a couple of babes over, pops some champagne. He's just left standing awkwardly. It's like the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen.
I need to check on some cowboy hats.
I think he was wearing it at the time. I'm probably remembering it so badly, but
I remember the cowboy hats when they come down. Just everyone pop on a cowboy hat.
Awkward moment when Jeff Bezos, Shatner talking about his space flight.
Robbo.
Shatner's giving like a little speech. You know how important this is. And Bezos just fucking runs off, pops some champagne and hangs out with babes.
Oh. Thank you, Robbo. If you'd done it one more time, I think I would have actually lost the plot. All right. Shall we wrap this one up?
Sorry, I'm watching that video. It's so funny. It's so good. I've got a couple more things. Sorry, Cam. One of them, they compared it to the Millennium Bug.
Yes, I saw that in a news report, and there's like an expert being like, "Yeah, it's like the Millennium Bug." It's like, dickhead.
Well, there was someone in the comments. Someone in the comments that was like, "Hey, the Millennium Bug." Like, people work hard on preventing that. Like you were, Cam. They felt they were a little bit hard done by. Another guy on TikTok was doing a car interview or a car to camera, and he says nothing's going to happen. What should happen is everyone should go on a diet and stop stuffing your face all the time like these people in the Nissan Dukes, Arabos in the fucking glove box.
What a specific car reference.
And a specific car and candy reference. He's really got something against people in the Nissan Dukes with the Arabos in the fucking glove box. Anyway, he was right. Out of all the people we've talked about, he was the most correct. Nothing happened.
Shatner really doesn't look impressed, does he? He's just like, kind of shakes his head. Yeah, then, like, Bezos is like, "Want some fucking champagne and babes?" And he's like, "No, thanks." And he just sticks his hands in his pockets. It's fucking, just not into it at all.
The disrespect, the absolute disrespect.
So, just finally, I did this was like, I think, a TikTok thing, really. But I jumped onto Our Conspiracy to see what they thought about it. And there was, I think, the general theme of all of the September 24 posts, of which there were many, was this is like, for the normies, this is a normie conspiracy. This is not like a real thing. This is just something to, for a bit of bread and roses, keep them distracted. But then, so that the overwhelming theme of the post was that, but then the person who's being like, "This is just some stupid normie thing," being like, "Oh, but it's got the ring of truth to it." They're like, this is so stupid. You'd have to be an idiot to believe in this. But I kind of do.
Our Conspiracy these days is in no position to be throwing shade on other people's conspiracies.
No.
Given it's mostly just posting right-wing memes and COVID stuff still.
Yeah. Not at the best. Well, that is September 24. The world may have ended. We could just all be in, the final death throes of our brains fading out.
Shutting down, the simulations turning off.
Yeah. But would they put, as the simulation powers down, would they divert enough energy to make a podcast about it? Which would surely take up a bit of data as it becomes a recursive loop where we're talking about the simulation winding down.
The insignificance that this podcast would take on the data stream of the current global world. Oh my God, global world. They are shutting us down.
Well, that's Hypothepod. Robbo, people can find us on Twitter at Hypothepod. You're in charge of that. Have you been doing a lot of tweets?
No, not really. I like a thing a day, a thing a month almost.
Good. So keep your eye on that. We are.
Yeah, but Cam, you're the most active on Twitter out of all of us. Why aren't you in charge of it?
Should I start posting my Wordle on the Hypothepod? Come on, mate.
I mean, the conspiracy, I don't know. Go.
We are on Patreon where we are active. We post a news show along with every main show that we do.
The news shows are great, by the way. They are a lot of fun.
So check us out on patreon.com/hypothepod, I think. Thank you to Tammy, our Cook $33 sponsor.
Thank you.
Robbo, where can they find you?
10 Lyndhurst Street in Westport. Come on down to the brewery for the Whitebait Festival. October 22nd this weekend. This is probably going to come out after that, but if you miss it, you'll forever regret missing out on our hit beer, the sour with cucumber and lemon.
Just dox yourself, idiot.
No, I want people to come to my business.
No, don't worry. I'll cut out the address so you don't dox yourself. Salty, where can they find you?
No, come to me. Don't cut out the address. It's crucial.
Robbo's Brewery in New Zealand.
Hey.
Twitch.tv/The Salt.
And you can get me at Sexenheimer on Twitter. Gather around me and Yana Passaran, search in your little podcasters to find me talking about other stuff.
Right.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't worry about a thing, except if all our world leaders are alien reptilians. I said don't worry about a thing, except maybe the fluoride in our water supply contains mind-altering drugs. Don't worry about a thing, except whether or not Port Arthur was a false flag operation in which to disarm Australia. I said don't worry about a thing. I accept you can definitely hear John Lennon say I buried Paul at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever. Ooh, don't worry about a thing, except not only did Bush do 9/11, but he also keeps the planes out in Area 51, which, let's not forget where all of the aliens are. Don't worry about a thing, except Donald Trump is clearly a woman and you're just blind if you can't see that. Why don't you open your eyes?